Thank you, Paul. From New York to Heidelberg, Germany, and here we are. It's my pleasure to be with you. I'm traditionally up here giving a little bit of a show with some masks and thing, but we thought this time it'd be a lot more fun to have real users, real IT centrals trying to do this and sharing their experience. So the first person I'd like to invite on is Yentran Trang from Robert Bosch. Yentran, are you there? Hi. Where are you calling from? What city? We can't hear her. Can you hear Yentran?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good.
What city are you calling from?
Stuttgart.
In Stuttgart. Okay, so we're not that far away from each other. Just to let everybody know, everybody knows the name Bosch, but you may not know how big it is. I mean, there's this new advertisement like a Bosch, but it's not just the household products. It's not just the tools. It's not just the automotive. It's the manufacturing. It's the IoT. Just a couple of numbers to put in perspective what Yentran's going to share with us. We're talking about almost 400,000 employees around the world, 129 manufacturing sites, and 11 R&D sites spread around the world. So you have a big job there in Stuttgart to try to get everybody pulled together. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for the invitation.
Okay, let's pull in the second speaker now, and that is going to be Ioannis Magnisalis from the European Commission.
Hello,
Hi,
hello, Phil. Hi.
It's great to see you. Where are you calling from today?
Brussels. I'm
Of
coming.
course.
Yeah.
Of course, if it's the European Commission. Okay,
Yeah.
just for the audience, everyone knows the European Union with the 27 countries that have joined together to try to make things better. Just going to drop a couple of facts that you may not know. Those 27 countries that work together have to somehow get things done. The getting things done is the European Commission. It currently is 55 directorates and departments focusing on topics across the range of everything possible, from cross-border taxation to data protection, all the way through to digitalization, Green Deal, climate control, you name it. Then there's a team within the European Commission, and Ioannis is in the directorate called Digit. I know it has a more formal name, but we all know it as Digit, which is providing all the central IT services. So thank you both for being here. I can think of no two better people to talk about how do you make this work in a better organization. Yentran, let's first start with you. I just want to ask a question about analytics at Bosch in the past. How did it happen? Was it structured? Did it just happen? Tell us a little bit.
So I've started at Bosch since more than 5 years, and I have all the background in mathematics in university, and I came in university already contact with Knime. And I have to say the last 5 years, the analytics area in the Bosch is growing and growing more in different kind of area, from manufacturing into in IoT and so on. And what I'm also seeing that we have a lot of experts who's doing working with the data in controlling and so on. But what we're really missing is IT experts, where we can bring both worlds together. And that's why we decided to bring more analytics to Bosch and also introduce Knime as a central service.
Yeah. What's interesting here is that you're in an analytics team that is actually a part of the central function trying to help everybody. And that's not necessarily how every organization does it. Ioannis, tell us a little bit about just analytics general in the European Commission. Is everyone experts, or
No. Actually, as you may know, and yeah, for the people to know, it's good that most of the European Commission colleagues are called and are around the policy officers part. So they try to I would say in exploratory mode, analyze their data. However, they need some support, and this is what we are giving in Digit D1, which is the data analytics and data services team that I'm working in. We try to facilitate for them the most difficult, I would say, analytics part, especially when data sets are extensive, big, I would say, coming from 27 countries, as you mentioned, many data sets and diverse ones, also structured and unstructured data. So you imagine legislation that we need to have analyzed, topic extractions there, and also what is the relevance of the funding programs that DGs like RTD, which is around research, and the famous Horizon programs that are budgeting SMEs and entrepreneurships around the Europe, is something that we need to follow in order to check if the money that the European Commission is budgeting and is giving to people to work on is getting towards the right direction, the right projects.
Okay, so there's a lot of that going on. Tell me a little bit. Yentran, you mentioned already the fact that you came out of university with some of this background. You'd already been exposed to Knime. But the European Commission is not necessarily known as being, BOSCH is known for innovation. So the fact that they're hiring people like you is we would think, well, duh. But European Commission, how did you find Knime? What was your first exposure to Knime, Ioannis? How did you run into Knime?
Actually, this is coming from also personal experience, because back in Greece, where I'm coming from, I'm visiting staff in the University of Thessaloniki, the International Hellenic University, and I have been using Knime for some years now, but it was a very good, I would say, surprise that I saw in the European Commission environment, very big investments and work around the AI, ML, machine learning, and trying to build actually around the data strategy. There is a document that is already shared within European Commission, also with member states, around the data formation and everyone else. I would add on this that Knime was selected by our team with the help of Gartner, who suggested, after an extensive names are the best one to start using for.
Okay, so you came up with the choice of Knime. Yentran, talk a little bit about Knime usage and working with the different teams around the world. Is it easy, or what do you have to do to try to get people to start to be coordinated and working together?
So I'm working in the central unit for IT. So we provide as a service Knime as a central service, like a central tool where everyone can use it as a self-service. So my part is to provide a professional platform from security to compliance, governance, access, and so on, that everyone is easy to use, just with click to get the role, can download the client and have access to the Knime server, and without thinking about how to clarify anything. So and my motivation is also to build up from community and also promotion. We had today our first getting started session. We're supported with a collaboration with Knime team. Thank you also to Benjamin and Alex. It was really, really great. We have positive feedbacks. So I tried to bring both, so the IT world and the domain expert, to motivate and also encourage the people to using that. And I think my part and my responsibility to make a tool, to bring the tool at BOSCH that everyone can access to, that is flexible, easy to use, to make this attractive, and that they can motivate it to using that.
What for me is really interesting in what you said, Yentran, is the fact that you're trying to take and package it and make it easy for them to deliver it to them. So you've kind of tried to remove a lot of the challenges associated with IT and security and all of those things. That concept of packaging. Ioannis, what are you doing at the European Commission? Because I know that's a big topic for you as well.
Yeah, it's a big topic, and many requests that we're trying to facilitate, and I want to share here that with Knime we are covering many aspects of many crucial problems that we have seen. For example, requests that are coming for data analytics on the cloud, whether using infrastructure for the major cloud providers that the European Commission is using, but also analyzing and having our analysis on sensitive data that are on-premise. And in this strand, we see Knime Analytics and Knime Server as the best tool that we have ever seen up to now in order to facilitate these two worlds. And especially another thing that we have identified is the orchestration part of Knime. So Knime facilitates to us and gives us to all of the European Commission colleagues the opportunity to reuse their work, to reuse templates, to reuse components that they have been building, to reuse even code that they have in R or Python, and they want to have it in a pipeline way being visualized and supported by an easy to digest tool. And our work there is to provide, of course, security and compliance in the environment that the users are activating Knime. For example, we provide to them a ready-made for them, very easy to onboard virtual workspaces either on AWS or Azure, where they find their environment on Knime, templates and components really ready to be used according to the use cases they have in their mind. And I think this is going to the right direction according to the feedback we are receiving up to now.
That's very interesting that both of you are talking about packaging and servicing and delivering in the right way, and the fact that Knime is able to do that. Yentran, when you're talking with the different users, are you still running into analytics people that say, no, I must use this tool, or I must use that tool, or I want to do something else? How do you go about working with them to try to get some sort of commonality so you can share?
It's I think it's a little bit dependent on the department, and it's a little bit politics as well. So it's coming from top management, what kind of tool you're using. But I try my best to make it easy. I'm the person, I just concentrate on the solution, and I think there's no tool which is better, or every tool have a weak and a strange. And I think it's important to have a good communication and understanding the customer, what kind of purpose, what kind of needs the customer has, and then find the best solution for that. And what I can say from my opinion is Knime, when you're going to doing, even it's not analytics part yet, you can, from data access to transformation to only when you can jump over to the analytics part, you can doing that is visualization, deployment as well. And I recommend always just make baby steps and then you can it's better baby steps than a big steps, and just see what is the need of the data, because we have so much data nowadays, and you're not able to see what you want to do. And it's better when you're doing steps from transformation and then see what can we do in the next steps, maybe coming to analytics or AI. We'll see.
What's interesting, Yentran, is when you talk about this, you're talking about reaching out to non-traditional groups. I mean, a lot of Knime users on here, of course, will come with a data science background and know what a machine learning is. But you're talking about actually packaging and presenting and using things in different ways. In other words, going through a lot of the automation steps. Do you think that's where the big potential is for BOSCH when it comes to leveraging the power of data?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. So, I mean, we have there's a lot of things when we have to focus, and when we can package and make it easier and small and tire, it's for the customer. It's a better choice to using a tool where they can just click and start it. Even when I'm seeing that Knime Analytics platform, you can download with one click from the vendors page, from Knime page. The customer is still saying, oh, I'm not sure if I'm using that, if the security or compliance topic. And what do? We just download the client from the vendors page and do a BOSCH standardized package, and everyone is happy and saying, okay, it's actually the same approach from downloading from vendors page to the internal BOSCH IT portal. But even small details, it's important for the customer. So we have to really concentrate even on details for the customer.
Yeah. Ioannis, what about you? Because you've got, I think, some of the same challenges. How do you approach that yourself?
Yeah, actually, we have many challenges there because there are also some things that we have to take into account. What I mentioned before, the on-premise environment where we need to provide on a Dockerized manner and persuade our internal security teams that this environment can be packaged, hosted, and run on-premise environments, but also how secure this is to be applied on the cloud providers that we use. So we have a multi-cloud and hybrid cloud at the same time environment that we need to take into account.
Yeah.
This is not a trivial exercise for our team. However, as we were supported in our decisions by Gartner, by the good feedback that we have already in the European Commission internal colleague customers, as we call them, and the support we get from the community of Knime, which is something very crucial, and especially in the European Commission environment, it plays a vital role when people see that this is something that is live, that is happening, and that has support at every time we need it. So we have come into cases that we couldn't ourselves support the end customers, but we could find the solutions through the community network of Knime, and this was a really good proof and success that that this is something working and a viable solution to go for. This is why we are working on packaging and providing this in a more, let's say, easy to digest manner to our customers. And a last thing to mention is that the orchestration part, especially nowadays that European Commission has onboarded on M365, because I saw the previous presentation, I want to make the link, is that we have seen many customers that are doing their ETL, their basic data digestion and transformation with Knime, but it is an honest thing to say that Knime for some parts of visualization cannot, let's say, provide what tools like Power BI can do, but this is why the components are in place to connect all of the worlds and play actually and leverage Knime as being the orchestrator of the end services to the end users. So we push, let's say, for example, sometimes the transform data sets to other tools and solutions, and from then on the journey goes on actually really smoothly.
Okay, I've got a question for both of you because security, governance, compliance keeps coming up with as a topic that analysts and gets talked about in the press.
Phil,
How important is
I
that?
think, okay.
You're breaking up a little bit, Ioannis. I'll ask the question again. Security, governance,
Okay.
sort of making sure to grab. Let me first ask Yentran, how important is that at BOSCH at the moment? Are those topics, is that something that you can help the users with?
Yeah, we try to help as much as possible. And at BOSCH, we in each department they have own security regulation, so we cannot cover it for all GB or all customer, but we can make it at least a fundamental or the basic security. For example, open source or GDPR and stuff like that. We try to cover all the big topics first, but we will mention also everyone who using Knime, be careful with the data, go to the security office in the department and clarify once again if something, especially when you're working with external or something, we will give a hint to the customer. But of course, it's a really big topic at BOSCH.
Yeah. What about at the European Commission? I mean, you guys helped create the GDPR, the data privacy law. So
Yeah,
you can't just write the report; you have to follow it as well.
we
Tell
are
us a little
the
bit
bad
about.
guys on this, like the
No, you're
policeman
not.
that yeah.
I helped you on that. I thoroughly believe in it, so it's okay. What do you do to try to control it? I mean, you have this fantastic thing called the Analytics Workbench. Just to let everyone know, if you go in and type European Commission data platform, you can actually get the diagram of how they're doing this. It's a public page, and it's
Yeah,
really
for sure.
fascinating it's fascinating to see how you're mixing and matching all of the different tools.
For sure, yes.
Yeah. Um, uh,
It is a very big endeavor that we are trying to build for more than 1 year now, that we call it the European Commission Data Platform.
Yes.
And this is available also on GitHub, the documentation that we provide for our end users to onboard and to understand what we are offering. Many building blocks out there, from data catalog solutions, and Knime has its own role there, and it's very well presented and well used in all environments that we provide. But something to share here about security and GDPR, because there is a lot of sensitivity on these subjects within European Commission, is that we try to provide in all levels of data, whether they are personal identified data or data that are, as Commission says, sensitive, non-classified data, and even classified data. We have identified and we have been working on real end user solutions on how to help end users actually work with them. There is no, let's say, there is nothing here to hide that even Olaf, which is the European Commission General Directorate around fraud detection, has been using Knime successfully in some proof of concepts. And because it is a platform that can be deployed on-premise, and we can have the whole security framework around this, it's something that has been proven very, very viable for and doable for this kind of proof of concept. However, even in cases that data are a little bit sensitive around personal data, for example, there are tools and components that we promote to end users in order for them, for example, to anonymize their data at the end and produce their analytics, because actually at the end the numbers is what they are looking for, our end users, and not who has done what around, let's say, a story. And this is actually creating a good result at the end. Best practices and recommendations, along with components that we provide for them, makes this happen, I think, for them, and we get good feedback.
Yeah, I think we could keep talking for a long time because I have so many questions, but I'm being told that we have to kind of slowly wrap up. I have one, I want to know one thing from each one of you. Yentran, is there one thing, one important topic you'd like to leave the audience with today?
I just can say, just do it. Yesterday and today we had the Getting Started session, and we get so much positive feedback, and it gives us a feeling that we are on the right way, and also the company benefit compared to the effort which we spend for the ramp up is so much bigger, and we just can hope that everyone is getting more doing analytics and are also motivated to doing more analytics as well. And we are very positive, and we just started, so it's just the beginning, and we're so positive. And what we can also saying thank you also for the Knime team. It's we appreciate to working with them, and we're looking forward to working also on together with the Knime team. And yeah, we're really happy that this was definitely a right decision.
Okay, Ioannis, what about you? What thought do you want to leave with the audience?
I would say one word that comes in my mind from my Greek origins, which is choreography, like orchestration. But choreography is about dancing, and the more you dance, I think, with Knime, the better you come in your results. And it's not a technology issue at the end. It is a platform that you have people that are using actually upon the data. This is why I mean, the more you dance, the more you identify and become better your solutions. And this is what we see happening again and again in this journey that we have for 2 years. Especially in this journey, we have very good conductors, Knime partners that are helping us, and also Knime team who has been very helpful in this journey.
Okay, that is fantastic. We have time for one question. Anna, do we have any questions coming through from the audience? Hi, Anna.
Hi. Yeah, so I think the question I have picked was already answered by the last moment. The question was basically if you were doing everything yourself or a Knime partner was helping. I think that's actually a very interesting question to dive through. So yeah.
Let me modify that question then, because it's a good question, but you both said, thank you very much to Knime, and Ioannis, you mentioned partners.
Mhm.
When do you need help? For what sort of things do you need help?
Yeah, I can make it. I will try to make it a little simple for our viewers, and because it was not simple to us at the start. We have a kind of a three-line support, an internal team D1 that we needed to understand what is possible, and when we know what is possible and by which budget and timeline, then we have in our constant support the Knime team for the product itself. But when we go to a real project to be implemented, we have in place the second line of support, which is Knime partners, in order to make it real for our internal customers who have very diverse needs. However, there are many commonalities, and these commonalities are actually being taken back by our feedback in our team in D1 in order to recreate the loop for next customers that come and say, okay, we have seen this problem being solved in another DG, a similar one with this partner, with this success rate. So this is why I said the longer we dance, the better we became.
Yeah, that's good. Yentran, where do you see needing help? What would you recommend to people?
So so we actually last year we ramped up the platform Knime. So we need in some topics where we actually not expected. So that is really where we really need Knime, and the support is very good. Yeah, from the administration documentation, everything is fine. But when you combine both together, especially with the company infrastructure, it comes to topics where no one's expected. So yeah, from infrastructure to customer or use cases as well. If customer has any use cases and we contact Knime, it's so fast and so in short time we get the solution for that. So cross over all of the topics.
I'm going to finish with with something I was hit with the other day. I was approached by an analyst group who presented a negative. I won't say which analyst group it was, and they said it's terrible that that Knime has such a strong support from the community and from partners. And I thought, that's terrible. That's the best thing you can have, a community and partners who have the speciality and the different skill sets to actually bring and help people move forward. I can think of no better negative that can be quoted from an analyst. So thank you, analyst company, we'll take it. It's because of people like you that we learn. I'd like to thank both of you. This was wonderful to hear from both of you. Yentran and Trang from Robert Bosch, and Ioannis Magnisalis. I'm going to get your last name right here one of these times, Ioannis.
No
But thank
problem.
you both very much for sharing with us, and back to Constance.